The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Zixther's tentacles curled in confusion. For 3 solar cycles, the Kryn Dominion had been studying Earth, cataloging its primitive defense systems, outdated weapons, and laughably small military presence scattered across a single planet. By all accounts, humanity should have been conquered within days of their discovery. Yet Earth remained untouched. "I don't understand," Zixther's translator crackled. "Their planet has no orbital defense grid, no planetary shields. Their fastest ships can't even break light speed. Why hasn't the Dominion absorbed them?" The Elder Council members exchanged glances, some amused, others deeply uncomfortable. It was the Vrelian delegate, a mantis-like creature named Karax, who finally spoke. "Because, young ambassador, you've never seen what happens when humans get angry." Anna Chen sat in the observation deck of the civilian transport ship Horizon's Edge, her fingers drumming against the viewport as she watched the stars drift by. Beside her, David Morrison was absorbed in a battered paperback novel, seemingly unbothered by the fact that they were 3 weeks from Earth and completely unarmed. "You know," Anna said, breaking the comfortable silence, "we're probably the only species in the galaxy that sends unarmed transport ships through pirate-infested space." David glanced up, a smile tugging at his lips. "That's because we're the pirates everyone's afraid of." She laughed. "We're botanists, David. The most dangerous thing in my lab is a particularly aggressive Venus flytrap." "Tell that to the Zelkins." The mention of the Zelkins made Anna's expression darken. 3 years ago, a Zelkin raiding party had attacked a human research station on Kepler 442b. 47 scientists had been killed, including David's sister. The Galactic Council had called it an unfortunate incident and offered diplomatic condolences. Humanity had called it something else entirely. The war that followed lasted 11 days. By day 3, the Zelkin home fleet had been reduced to scrap metal. By day 7, their leadership had surrendered unconditionally. By day 11, every human casualty had been avenged tenfold, and the galaxy learned a crucial lesson. Humanity didn't have large militaries because they didn't need them. Every human was the military. Back in the council chamber, Zixther's patience was wearing thin. That was one incident, surely. One incident. Karax's mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. "Let me tell you about humans, ambassador. Let me tell you why we don't attack Earth." The holographic display at the chamber's center flickered to life, showing grainy footage from the Zelkin War. Zixther watched as civilian ships, transport vessels, mining freighters, even pleasure craft, transformed mid-flight. Hidden weapon systems deployed, engine modifications kicked in, and suddenly the defenseless became deadly. "Humans," Karax continued, "have this peculiar quality. They call it dual-use technology. Every one of their civilian innovations can be weaponized within hours. That transport ship carrying grain, it can carry Marines instead. That mining laser, perfect for cutting through hull plating. That entertainment satellite network, a ready-made targeting and communications grid." Zixther's skin paled to a sickly gray. "But their population, they're spread across hundreds of colonies, billions of individuals. Surely they can't all be soldiers? No, but they can all become soldiers." The Vrelian's voice carried a note of grudging respect. "Humans have mandatory emergency training. Every civilian knows how to handle a weapon, perform first aid, and follow tactical protocols. Their scientists design weapons in their spare time. Their engineers can turn a coffee maker into an explosive device if sufficiently motivated." The alarm on the Horizon's Edge shattered the peaceful silence at 300 hours. Anna was awake instantly, years of emergency drills overriding the fog of sleep. Beside her, David was already pulling on his boots. "All passengers to designated stations," the captain's voice crackled over the intercom. "This is not a drill. We have hostile contacts on approach. Prepare for emergency protocols." They moved through the corridors with practiced efficiency, joining the stream of passengers heading to their assigned positions. The ship held 200 civilians, researchers, families, traders, not a single military personnel among them. Within 12 minutes, the horizon's edge had transformed. Anna found herself in Bay 3, where cargo containers were being rapidly reconfigured. David worked beside her, his botanical expertise proving useful in an unexpected way as he helped calibrate the chemical mixture for the improvised missiles they were loading. 3 ships, the tactical officer announced. She was a schoolteacher from Mars, but her hands moved with absolute certainty across the weapons console. Looks like Morgathi raiders. They're hailing us. The captain, a grizzled former freighter pilot named Santos, opened the channel. The Morgathi commander appeared on screen, all 4 of his eyes gleaming with predatory confidence. Human vessel, you will surrender your cargo and half your passengers for the slave markets. Resist, and we will destroy you. Santos smiled, an expression that made even Anna, who'd known him for 3 weeks, feel a chill. You're making a mistake. Your ship is unarmed, our scanners show. Your scanners show exactly what we wanted them to show. Santos cut the transmission and turned to his crew. Light them up. The Horizon's Edge had been built as a civilian transport, yes, but it had been built by humans, which meant it had been built with one eye toward the inevitable. Panels slid away, revealing railgun emplacements. The cargo containers Anna and David had been working on launched, revealing themselves as missile pods. The ship's mining laser, installed for asteroid prospecting, swiveled toward the nearest raider. The battle lasted 4 minutes. When it was over, one Morgathi ship was debris, another was venting atmosphere and broadcasting surrender, and the third was fleeing at maximum velocity, its captain no doubt wondering how a defenseless civilian transport had just decimated his raiding party. In the council chamber, the holographic recording of the Horizon's Edge engagement faded. Zixther sat in stunned silence. That was a civilian ship, Karex said softly. Imagine what their actual military vessels can do. Imagine what happens when an entire planet of 8 billion humans decides you're a threat. But why, Zixther finally managed. Why build everything this way? Why live with such paranoia? An unexpected voice answered. Ambassador Sarah Chen, Anna's aunt and Earth's representative to the council, had been sitting quietly in the observer's gallery. Now she stood, her small frame somehow commanding the vast chamber's attention. Because we learned, Ambassador Zixther, that in a universe of predators the best defense is ensuring you're never prey. She walked to the chamber floor, her shoes clicking against the crystalline surface. For millennia, humans fought each other. We learned every possible way to kill, to defend, to survive. When we reached the stars and found we weren't alone, we didn't abandon those lessons. We adapted them. She gestured to the darkened holographic display. You call it paranoia, we call it preparedness. Every human colony has emergency protocols. Every ship has hidden capabilities. Every civilian has training. Because we decided as a species that never again would we be helpless. Never again would we watch as our people were slaughtered while we waited for someone else to save us. Zixther's tentacles drooped. So the rumors are true. Earth isn't defenseless. Earth is the most defended planet in the galaxy, Ambassador Chen interrupted. Not because we have the biggest military, but because every single human is part of that defense. Attack one transport ship, and you've declared war on all of us. And we don't fight wars the way you do, Ambassador. We don't calculate acceptable losses or negotiate ceasefires. We fight until the threat is eliminated, completely and permanently. She leaned forward, her voice dropping to something that was almost gentle. So you ask why no one attacks defenseless Earth. Because we're not defenseless. We never have been. We just don't waste resources on showing off our weapons when we could be using those resources to build, to explore, to live. But make no mistake, the moment someone forces our hand, they learn the truth. What truth? Zixter whispered. That humanity, fuck yeah, is not a boast. It's a warning. On the horizon's edge, Anna and David returned to the observation deck as the ship resumed its course. The immediate danger had passed, the raiders either destroyed or fled, and already the crew was converting their weapons back into mining equipment and cargo containers. You ever wonder, David asked, what aliens think when they realize what we're really like? Anna considered this, watching Earth grow larger in the viewport as they approached home. Probably that we're crazy. Are we? She smiled, thinking of the galaxy they'd explored, the wonders they'd discovered, and the threats they'd overcome. Maybe a little, but we're still here, aren't we? Still exploring, still learning, still surviving. Still human, David added. Yeah, Anna agreed, her reflection in the viewport showing the same determined expression worn by billions of her species across hundreds of worlds. Still human, and that's enough. The Galactic Council session ended with Zixter's official report recommending that the Kryn Dominion maintain peaceful relations with Earth and add humanity to the list of species never to be engaged militarily. It was a list that, before humanity's arrival in galactic civilization, had contained only 3 other species, all of them significantly more advanced, more numerous, and more openly aggressive than Earth's population. But none of them, Zixter noted in his private log, were quite as terrifying as a species that could hide their weapons in plain sight and turn every civilian into a soldier at a moment's notice. Humanity remained defenseless only in the eyes of fools, and fools, the young ambassador had learned, didn't survive long in the galaxy's harsh reality.